Is there something about females that you wanted to know but could never figure out? Are you struggling with relationships? Do you feel like you're being taken advantage of by the women in your life? Do you want to know how to leverage the playing field to your favor? Well, did you know that the female mind and the female psyche are mysterious and unexplored regions like the dark web of the internet? For this reason, men need a method of decrypting or hacking the manipulative psyche or dark web of the female mind. Once a man has a deep understanding of true female nature, he will then be able to hack her programming.
Access granted.
The purpose of this book is to help grown males evolve into men so that they can treat the women in their lives accordingly.
You win.
Introduction. Too often, boys are raised to believe that all females are delicate flowers who can do no wrong. In reality, females lie, cheat, and steal like anyone else. One of the main differences is that females use their sexuality as bait, from wearing fake hair, fake eyelashes and makeup, to wearing shape-defying waist trainers. In the end, females hope their masquerades go undetected by males as they continue to practice hypergamy, the act of marrying a person of a superior caste, class, or tax bracket. In order for the male to fully understand true female nature, TFN, he must first put himself in the mindset of a female. He must empathize with her. What is the motivating factor that causes females to be so irrational, deceitful, evil, yet agreeable at times? What is it that drives females to make the decisions that they make? Simply put, to survive. Females are constantly seeking security, dependability, and safety. There is a difference between having a survival mentality versus someone having a self-preservation mentality. Someone who is in the mind state of self-preservation will not be able to hold their breath underwater long enough to commit suicide. Their body would cause them to involuntarily emerge from the water to gasp for air. The example of someone who would be operating in the mind state of survival would be to imagine a male being a height of 5 feet tall and weighing 107 pounds, and he were wrongfully incarcerated in the grimiest prison, whose institution has the highest rate of inmate-on-inmate sexual assaults and battery in the world, with the average incarcerated inmate being 6 feet 4 inches tall and the average weight being 240 pounds of solid muscle. How would that male move around that facility? Wouldn't he want to be a part of, or at least be associated with, the top tier of that society to ensure his safety and security to survive? The scenario of being incarcerated in an environment where the people around him can physically and/or sexually violate him, if the inmates so choose to do so at any given time, is an example of how females walk around in society, especially around masculine men. To speak on the origin of TFN 101, we must first go back to the genesis of hypergamy. Back when there were hunter-gatherer civilizations, the female needed to clique up or associate herself with some of the best hunters, if not the top hunter in the community. Being with the top dog would ensure the female her protection, not only for herself, but also for her offspring. Because of this need to be under the protection of a top male, females knew they needed to make themselves useful to that male. Females would also learn to be agreeable with the other females in the tribe. Being a nuisance or being useless to the hunter warriors would cause her to be susceptible to being abandoned by him and the rest of the tribe or community, leaving her alone, without security, and without safety in numbers. Since the beginning of time, females have been vying for the best warrior or hunter, now more commonly known as the alpha, in order to ensure her survival. Without him and without his resources, females would be left for dead. Therefore, practicing hypergamy is completely natural to females, it's instinctual. Being upset at a female's hypergamous nature, would be like being upset at a bird for chirping, or it would be like being upset at water for being wet. It's just natural. This is a balancing act for females because they need to weigh out who can protect them versus who can they associate themselves with. For example, a male who is well equipped with firearms may be able to adequately protect a female, but if that male is wanted for committing multiple felonies in 36 of the 50 United States, then that female may want to disassociate herself from him. It is this self-preservation mentality of females that draws them to power, money. A female's perceived power is in her sexuality, where she uses her body, amongst other bait, to lure males to do her bidding. Childhood. Females learn the behavior of manipulating males via their emotions from several people and at different times in their lives. The main influences of females' conniving behavior include their mothers, their fathers, if they grew up with one, and also adolescent males. In most cases, the mother of a child is its first teacher. It is from their mothers that females get their first lessons in survival skills and habits. It is the mother who usually teaches the baby how to eat. It is the mother who teaches the toddler how to dress, and it is the mother who teaches the infant how to brush their teeth or to be potty trained. Whether consciously or subconsciously, females learn how to behave around males based on what they witnessed from their mother's interactions with their fathers, boyfriends, or other men. Females, at an early age, pick up on everything, from the way their mothers stand and look at males, to the way their mothers talk or listen to males, to the mask, manipulation by use of emotions their mothers put on when these males are around. Females see differences in their mother's mannerisms when males are around versus when males are not present. Elementary age females eavesdrop on their mothers' conversations, hearing their mothers talk down about males with their girlfriends. The lessons that females learn from their mothers about men are crucial to their future relationships. What young females learn from watching and hearing their mothers interact with males, especially their fathers, can determine how that female will treat the males in her community, can determine how that female will treat her future love interests, husband, and can determine how that female will choose to raise her sons. To begin to understand TFN, you have to strip away or unlearn what was taught to you about females. Growing up, females of today are taught that men lack common sense and are just tools or workhorses put on earth to serve all the needs of a female. It is programmed into female psyche not only by their mothers but by the media in general, i.e., commercials, cinema, music, and social media. The media portrays men in a subservient, unintelligent, and simple-minded way, which causes females of today to have demeaning, disrespectful, and degrading interactions with men. Females have learned from their mothers that they do not have to listen to male authority. Females have learned that she has the final word. Females learn that it is acceptable to perform dubious behaviors, unbeknownst to her boyfriend or husband, from their mothers. Females are compliant in this way of thinking because they are also taught that all men are liars and unwilling to commit or be faithful to one woman. I recall one of my exes telling me that not only her mother, but both her paternal and maternal grandmothers all told her to never trust a man. She was told that men were nothing but liars, cheaters, and were unwilling to be loyal. Think about that for a second. Think back to when you were a toddler, 5 or 6 years old. Think back to how you looked up to your parents and interpreted their words as being gospel truth or actuality. Now imagine this being her first notion of males as early as age 5, because those were her first examples, and sadly this notion is biased because it is one-sided. The average Western American female is an aggressively greedy taker from males. As a child, her father rewards all her tears, screams, and tantrums by giving her anything and everything that she wants. With this usually being a female's first relationship with a male, her father, These types of responses by her father can teach the female that her negative behavior will be rewarded, and it can teach her that she can manipulate the emotions of a male to her advantage. Females learn how to fake their emotions in order to control their fathers and to manipulate their fathers to do what they want. Females will go as far as utilizing crocodile tears to changing the tone or pitch in their voice. Even worse, females master the skill of exploiting the love their fathers have for them and the devotion that their fathers have for them to use against their fathers. All of the aforementioned lessons that females learn from their parents about males and how to interact with males are taught to females consciously and/or subconsciously before they are old enough to enter kindergarten. Adolescent. By the time females have reached their high school years, they have become fully proficient at exploiting males for their wants. It is during their adolescent years that females begin to physically and mentally develop their baits, getting them what females desire most from males: his attention. It is during females' adolescent years that they notice the attention and favors they are receiving from the young boys whom are going through puberty. Females learn that these young boys see girls as perfect angels ready to be placed on a pedestal. Females begin to recognize the effects and rewards they can garner from their sexual baits: hair, body, perfume, makeup, etc. As early as high school, females will request high-priced gifts and outrageous dates, while simultaneously expecting males to idolize them for doing these actions for her. During their childhood, females learn lessons from their mothers. Males must spend money on them, and males should appreciate the mere fact of being in their presence. Females also learn in their adolescent years that it is more advantageous for them to boost a male's ego. Females are programmed to assume that adolescent boys and young men believe whatever comes out of their mouths. And females are taught that what a male does not know cannot hurt him. Because of this, females play the same games with males all the time. Mothers are the biggest offenders in teaching this behavior to her. It is a female's mother that teaches them that if a male really likes them, he should dispense his resources on them: gifts, trips, and/or monetary tips. He should date them exclusively to ensure that his resources aren't used on anyone else, and that he should not demand sex in return for anything else that he does for them, to ensure that he is trained to follow their rules and their program. The one lesson that mothers taught females, a man must spend money, leads females to conform to a mindset that is similar to the mindset of a prostitute. By the time females are old enough to legally consume alcohol, they have a learned behavior that has them believe that females should be given whatever they want solely because they have a uterus, a cervix, and fallopian tubes. Adulthood. In early adulthood, females develop a set of tests that they perform on males by saying or doing something to appraise his tenacity and to make value judgments about him from his reaction and/or response. Females learn to test males to see if they are serious about being with her. Females are looking for a savior. They have no problem concocting stories of being damsels in distress, from being stuck on the side of the road emergencies to needing help with their rent. Females do all of this testing to see if that male will still pursue them, giving females the attention they want and actually need. Females practice testing males on their various level of interest, on their different reactions, and on their level of sincerity. Females are constantly evaluating the males that they are interested in until, at minimum, he submits to her. The best and cheapest method for a male to submit to a female would be for him to say, "I love you," to her. The worst or most expensive method for a male to submit to a female would be to say, "I do," to her. In adulthood, all the seeds planted by their first teachers, their mothers, come to fruition. Females learn to put males through tests, to see if these males are under their spells. Females learn how to use their sexual bait to their advantage by this point, and females also develop the mindset that males owe them something. For the most part, females of today are not taught home economics. Their mothers would rather spend time teaching them to be sexually liberal. Too many females do not have a model of what a good homemaker looks like. The modern female finds housework to be hard and painstaking. They find homemaking to be demeaning and below them as a female. Females are followers by nature. If they did not see their mothers cooking, cleaning, or being a helper or assistant to the man of the house, then females would have no example to mimic when in a marriage or living with her boyfriend. Imagine all the females who did not grow up with a man in the house at all. Females need to witness the nature of a man. The only examples most females have of a man are the images that they see in the media, images that undermine the perception of what true male nature is. Females have no natural inclination of how to nurture a relationship with a man. This attribute must be taught. Mothers teach females what sex is, but their mothers only teach their daughters about sex from their own, the mother's, experience. So the lessons that mothers teach their daughters are not objective, only subjective. This is why females are programmed to marry a rich man, because his money is for the two of them and her money is for her and her only. Mothers are the biggest offenders in teaching this behavior to their daughters. Mothers teach females that if a male really likes them, he should dispense his resources on them, gifts, trips, and/or monetary tips. Mothers teach females that if a male really likes them, he should date them exclusively, which would ensure that his resources aren't being used on anyone else but them. Mothers teach females that a male should not demand sex in return for anything that he does for them, which would ensure that he is trained to follow her program. Mothers train their daughters to get an education as a backup plan. They train their daughters to believe that all a male wants is what is in between her legs. And they train their daughters to not expect a man to say he is exclusive with her and mean it. The lifestyle females choose and the life goals they pursue are both determined by the environment and the way they were raised in said environment. Too often, females are victims to their own goals. Females want to have their cake and eat it too. Females want to simultaneously be able to attain the highest scholastic degrees in the land, be wives to their husbands, be mothers to their children, and be the best employees that their bosses can hire. Females do not realize that they cannot have it all: beauty, knowledge, and intellect. Knowledge is facts, information, and skills acquired by a person through experience or education. Intellect is the ability to acquire and apply this knowledge. Mothers rarely teach their daughters that they will need the light of a man to fill their vessels, to put the spark in their lives that is needed for them to attain the beauty, knowledge, and intellect they seek. Modern females do not know that they are unbalanced in the way they interact with males. Modern females do not know their role in nature and in society anymore. It is no surprise that the modern female is the most depressed she has ever been. Many females in today's society need psychiatric or psychological evaluations to determine their mental status.
Is there something about females that you wanted to know but could never figure out? Are you struggling with relationships? Do you feel like you're being taken advantage of by the women in your life? Do you want to know how to leverage the playing field to your favor? Well, did you know that the female mind and the female psyche are mysterious and unexplored regions like the dark web of the internet? For this reason, men need a method of decrypting or hacking the manipulative psyche or dark web of the female mind. Once a man has a deep understanding of true female nature, he will then be able to hack her programming.
Access granted.
The purpose of this book is to help grown males evolve into men so that they can treat the women in their lives accordingly.
You win.